Welcome to the Insomnia Project. Sit back, lie back, stand up. Just get ready to listen to a conversation that we're going to have about something mundane. One thing we try to deliver is a conversation that will be less than fascinating so that you can just drift off. We want to thank you for joining us. We also invite you to rate us on iTunes or send us an email or a tweet. Maybe we'll talk about a topic that you bring up. But thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Marco Timpano.
And I'm your co-host, Nidhi Khanna.
Nidhi, do you remember things in your youth that are no longer around, that were a big part of your youth?
Oh, absolutely.
I remember going to the grocery store and having the groceries bagged in a paper bag that had kind of like a little serrated top to it, like a, you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
And I remember that every checker, every person who was at the
bag checker person?
Every person who was at every cashier had a bag checker in the grocery store. Do you recall that at all?
Yeah, like every cashier, there was also a person bagging it.
Right.
Yeah, the bag boy or bag girl.
Sure. Yeah, but then it went to plastic bags, and you would bag your own, and that's kind of disappeared to the wayside. Just like, do you remember going to the gas station, and every gas station had a gas station attendant who would fill up for you? This is when I was a child, I recall it. Now you rarely see a full serve. I rarely see, I should say, gas station.
Yeah, and when you do see it, it's almost like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess back in the day, you didn't really pay that much more for the full service, because I remember my mom used to always just go to the full service one.
Right.
But not anymore. That's sort of like a luxury that one would never really splurge on. But
I want to say that it might happen in smaller towns, because I feel like the last time I saw it was in a small town. But even so, like...
I've seen it here in Toronto.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
A full-service gas station?
Full service.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
With a full-service aisle and a self-service aisle.
Okay, I haven't seen one in a while.
I know.
But they used to be very prevalent when I was a kid.
Absolutely. What about... did you ever... the fad of snap bracelets or slap bracelets?
I remember my sister had them. It wouldn't be something that I would necessarily be into.
Fair enough.
But yeah, they were kind of like, and correct me if I'm wrong, they were a little metal strip, almost like a long Band-Aid in shape is what I remember.
Yes.
And then you would kind of slap it on your wrist, and it would bend into a shape that was like a bracelet. Yes,
that's exactly what it was.
Okay.
And I don't quite know when you describe it what the big novelty of it was, but it was huge in the 90s as a kid. But it no longer, you never really see them anymore. So that's something that's definitely gone by the wayside.
Like cassettes, do you remember having mixtapes?
Cassettes, yeah, mixtapes, or VHS, even cassettes.
I remember taping things off the radio to listen at a later time, or if there was a song I really liked, I'd tape it with my little tape recorder.
And the DJ would always come in at the wrong time and be like, stop talking,
sure.
So I can record
and,
this.
I remember going to record stores, which you don't see very many record stores at all.
No.
And buying vinyl and going on the release date to buy whatever favorite artist I had at that time.
Interesting.
Do you remember playing records when you were a kid?
No,
it was cassettes.
It was cassettes and CDs. The CD. I had a big CD collection.
Okay. And now what do you do with those CDs? Where are they now?
Oh, I think they're in a trunk somewhere. They're in storage somewhere, or maybe I gave some of them away. Like I don't know. Now everything doesn't even need a space. Well, and that's an interesting thing, because I used to have a CD holder.
Right. A piece of furniture that would be a CD.
Yeah, and now you would never really need that anymore.
Sure.
Because it's all on a digital music player. But remember floppy disks?
Oh, for sure. I haven't thought of that in a while.
Yeah.
And you know, what came after the floppy disk?
It was like the smaller, they weren't floppy disks, but they were like hard disks
Right.
that you used to put in. They were a little bit smaller, but they were still square.
Right.
I feel like floppy disks were only right around the beginning of...
Now, have you ever seen an 8-track?
No, I have not. I don't think I have.
Like, remember, you see them in kind of old films. I remember when I was a little kid, I barely have a memory of it, but my parents' car had an 8-track in it. And I remember they had, I wish I could remember the band. Some old band that was like... maybe the Carpenters or something like that. I don't remember, but yeah. They didn't have very many 8-tracks, but they had an 8-track player in the car. But I was so young, like I can barely remember it. Like I have a very sort of foggy memory of it being next to me, like an 8-track being next to me when I was in the car.
Because what was the difference between an 8-track and a cassette? Were they completely...
It was larger. It was kind of like a... do you remember Nintendos?
Yeah.
And how they would have a cartridge? It was more like a cartridge that you would put in. That's all I remember. Like I said, I don't ever remember putting it in myself. I just remember like a faint...
You know what's very funny? Mm-hmm. The fact that an 8-track is so obsolete now that when you put in 8-track and ask for images, it actually gives you like a running track.
Oh, isn't that funny?
So, I guess an 8-track player. Oh, I see it. Okay, yeah. It's almost like what you would see on like Good Morning Vietnam or... Right,
exactly. It's funny because when I was in school studying journalism, part of our radio program, we would have commercials on 8-track type cassettes that you would put in. So you'd put the commercials in that kind of a manner. That's why I sort of have a familiarity of how that works, but even has been obsolete for years in radio. I think as we were learning it, the teachers were saying, "You're not going to see this much more," so I wouldn't worry about it.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. I used to remember the writable CDs and rewritable CDs, and how those used to be really big at one time too.
Oh, they were great. What about, have you ever written anything on a typewriter, an assignment on a typewriter?
No, I have not.
You always had computers?
I always had, it was either handwritten or computers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember handing in a couple of things.
From a typewriter?
And we had a really old typewriter that I think they no longer used at my dad's work, and so my dad brought it home, and it was ginormous. Do you see that little sofa couch? It was that big.
No.
You know, it was huge. No, it wasn't that big, but it was humongous and loud. And when it moved, like it moved. You
knew someone was doing their homework.
It was. It was loud. It was a machinery. It was a piece of machinery.
I remember the software program Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing.
No.
You don't remember that?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay,
but you said it very fast, too.
Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing?
Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing.
Yes.
Okay.
So in grade 7 or 8, like when computers just were starting to kind of make their way into the classroom.
That's the 7th or 8th grade for our American listeners.
That's right. You had to learn how to type on the keyboard, and there was this program called Mavis Beacon that taught you how to type, essentially.
Okay.
And it was sort of like, I can't remember if it was like, had like a game component to it.
Sure.
But I guess it was to bridge also all those people who were moving from a typewriter to a keyboard.
Okay.
Because I don't think the keys are set up exactly the same.
They are.
They are?
They're just configured a little, like the keyboard is the same, but I shouldn't be touching that on the keyboard as we're recording, because I'll stop our recording. But they're raised on a typewriter.
Right.
Right? So it's like on a laptop or on a...
But the actual like layout is the same?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
And the reason I know that is because in high school I took a typing course.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, speaking of which, like, why is a keyboard laid out that way?
An amazing question. I don't have the answer. I used to know this.
Yeah, because you took a typing course.
Well, I took it just because we thought it would be an easy course, to be quite honest. That's why we took
And was it?
No, our teacher was pretty stern, but I'm grateful because I'm a pretty good typer. Like, I'm pretty quick. Mm-hmm. And even then, Nidhi, what's funny is even when I was taking the typewriting course, we all knew that this was becoming obsolete. But I think my school just had a room filled with typewriters. And so I think later on it was called keyboarding, and they brought keyboards in and replaced the typewriters. But it was a dedicated room with an army of typewriters. And so we were learning typing. And, we had these drills. All we would do, I felt like in class, was like different letter combinations. And you'd have to sort of, I don't know if you ever heard this concept of words per minute. Mm-hmm. You know how many words you can type per minute? Well, your goal was, I think, 60 words per minute. And I think I got to 49. But still, listen.
That's pretty good.
Hey, I'll take that.
And when you're typing now, what I find interesting is you always complain about mine and Amanda's
heavy fingers. Yeah.
Meanwhile, you used to type on a typewriter where you had to have heavy fingers.
Well, when you say I used to type on a typewriter, I took a typing course and I had a typewriter for maybe 2 years of my school year when I was younger. And but yeah, you guys slam those keys. I don't understand what it is about you guys, but I'm a much more delicate soul.
I think you're just a little too sensitive with your keys. Look at your keyboard; it's like coming up.
Well, this is just a plastic coating on top of it for people like you when you use it to protect my keyboard.
Oh, excuse me, fancy.
Well,
did they teach you that in your typing course?
No. Did you take any courses in school that would be considered obsolete now?
Well, they stopped home ec like before I got to the grade level where you were supposed to take it. So they stopped that. But I'm sure there were many people who took home ec leading up to sort of the 90s, mid-90s.
I took home ec.
Did you?
Yeah, we had home ec and shop, but they didn't call it shop. They called it, I want to say woodworking or something like that. And it was... The cool thing was you had to take both. It wasn't like, traditionally it would be guys would take the shop classes and women would take the home ec, right? It was this sort of gender stereotype that would be prevalent in schools. And I believe my school was like, no, half the year you're going to take one and half the year you're going to take the other. So everyone got behind a machine drill and everyone got to bake whatever it was we were learning to bake.
Taste the Mediterranean at Whole Foods Market with a vibrant selection that captures the flavors of the region. Shop coastal favorites like responsibly farmed whole bronzini and jumbo white shrimp, and pair them with specialty pastas, robust olive oils, and aromatic sauces directly sourced from the Mediterranean. Want a fast and easy dinner? Grab refreshing Greek salads and tortellini from the Prepared Foods Department. Taste the Mediterranean now at Whole Foods Market.
With almost 500,000 customers and over $1 trillion of secure payments, Bill isn't new to intelligent finance. It's the proven way to simplify bill pay and maximize cash flow. Want to learn more? Visit Bill.com/proven for a special offer.
That's the sound of a big deal. At Wayfair, that sound happens a lot. Dream sofa for half the price? Big deal. New dining table you've been eyeing for months? Big deal. Finally picking up those last few pieces and finishing that bedroom? Now that's a really big deal. Whatever your home needs, Wayfair has the selection, the savings, and over millions of 5-star reviews to back it up. Shop Wayfair.com today before someone else snags your big deal.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
So I'm just reading up a little bit on the keyboard layout. And so apparently the keyboard layout that we look at, or that we use, is the QWERTY layout.
QWERTY.
Yeah. And so apparently, when it was invented to solve one of the issues that used to happen with typing on typewriters was that letters that commonly go together were placed next to each other, like, and so in the mechanics of when the hand was typing,
I mean, like,
it would jam, like the way the board
I
used to
see.
be. It would commonly jam, and a jam in a typewriter is quite annoying, right?
Sure.
Because you have to like go back and take the little. So
Well, not only that, Nidhi, so when you use a typewriter, one of those old school typewriters, keys would jump up and hit the page, right?
Right.
And so if it would jam, what would happen is these two keys would like cross and get stuck. So you couldn't continue typing. It wasn't like you could go backstroke or like use a whiteout to fix it. No, it would be like a jam, an actual jam where the machine would stop would stop working.
So what the inventor of the QWERTY layout tried to do was take letters that were commonly together, like a T and an H, for example.
For the THE, let's
Sure.
say.
And put them further apart to avoid the jams. So
Yeah, I'm looking at what they
exactly,
are now. Yeah.
Exactly. So like close enough so that you could type it, but not right next to each other so that they would jam.
Right.
So that's one of the things he tried to do. It was basically a response to trying to get rid of jams in the typewriters. Look at that.
There you go.
Fun fact of the day.
You're good with shortcut keys. You've always been like really, whenever we're working together, you're always like, Command Q3 does this. Alt X question mark does that.
Yeah,
you know?
remember when I was teaching you Excel?
I'm not. When is that going to be obsolete?
If only. If only.
I so don't enjoy Excel.
Well, I don't think enjoy is necessarily what they were going for.
Fair. I find it hard. I still find it hard. It's not user friendly, I'm sorry to say. It really isn't.
You don't find it, eh?
No. You get the bracket wrong, you do something wrong, you're in the wrong cell, it's just a mess. And I hate how small it is.
I think that's your computer, though.
No, the cells in Excel are always small. You've got to make them like they're this big. Like how?
Yeah, but you can make them bigger.
I know, but it's a pain.
Oh.
The default isn't like that.
Right.
Make the default bigger. I'd be much more. I have problems with very small things, like like when you're. I need things to be a little bit.
Right. And so if you just zoom in, it'll get bigger.
Yeah, sure, but yeah, not my thing.
No, fair enough.
Not my thing.
Fair enough.
I'm trying to think of other things that are like no longer around or no longer used.
That's a good question. What about anything in the automotive industry?
Oh, I'm sure there's a ton of
like
things.
A ton of stuff, right? Like, I mean, steam engine.
I guess. I mean, things like that, of course, no longer exist. But it's just interesting to see things sort of disappear or like go by the wayside. And, people, young kids today will never have used a floppy disk or,
it's true.
a cassette or
Yeah.
even a home phone. Do you remember the home phones that had the dial, the rotary dial?
Yeah, no, they're never going to see that again.
Did you ever use a phone that was like that?
Yes, I've used one. We had a touch tone in our house growing up, but
Sure.
Many of my friends had rotary dial ones.
Or do you remember answering machines that were separate machines from the phone?
And like had a cassette tape in there to record it. Yeah.
They're conveniently used in films and stuff because that way you can show the person rewinding it and everyone listening to it at once. But
yeah, I feel it's funny when you watch shows like The X-Files or something from like back in the day in the 90s or whatever, and kind of see the technology being so different, right? Or the fashion or any of it. It's really funny to watch it and kind of be a little nostalgic for it.
You might not remember this, or you might not have used this, but I remember, using suntan oil versus sunscreen. Like it was an oil to get a tan in the sun.
Oh, they still have that.
Yeah. Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. It's dangerous. Like
Hawaiian tropic type of thing.
Right.
Yeah, they still have that.
But, yeah.
Yeah. No, I know. Or like the fact that sunscreen, like there was a time where you just didn't use
You didn't
sunscreen.
use sunscreen at all, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't the thing you wanted to get the tan.
Or it just wasn't even that. People weren't that knowledgeable about, like,
Right.
Like it wasn't mainstream knowledge that, oh, the minute you go out just during the day, at least not for me. Like,
Sure.
I don't know. It wasn't until a little bit later that it was like, no, you got to wear sunscreen all the time.
Do you take vitamin D in the cold months when the sun isn't out? Because for our listeners who aren't in cold climates like ours, when it's cold, you're supposed to take vitamin D because we don't get, as Canadians, get enough vitamin D from the sun in the winter months. So my question to you is, do you take vitamin D?
I sometimes take it, sometimes don't. I don't
Okay.
take it, like, I have spurts when I'm taking it regularly, and then I forget, like, it runs out and I forget to buy it or whatever.
I know.
Do you?
I have both the pills and the drops.
Okay. Do you find it makes a difference?
I don't really notice it, but
Me neither.
But that said, just because you don't notice it doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing it, right? And I do it for a week solid and then I'll forget.
Yeah, I feel like it's also one of those things that you need to build up. Like,
So-
I don't know if you see it right away, you know?
Right.
Like, I wonder if I was taking it consistently for 3 months, if there'd be more of an output or a tangible outcome that I would notice.
Right.
But I find it difficult to take vitamins
you?
consistently. Yeah.
I wish I was better at it too.
Yeah.
I think it takes a certain. I try to incorporate it into my routine, but sometimes I just leave the house without going into the kitchen where I keep them, right?
Right.
And so it's kind of like. Then I tried keeping them in my car, and that didn't work. I wish I had a better system. If I could find a system that would allow me to take daily vitamins, I would do it. But I just don't have a system that works.
I feel like it's like an alarm or something.
Oh,
Like a pop-up reminder. I've been doing that on my phone, telling myself to drink more water.
okay. And has it worked?
Yeah, it has actually.
Like, what do you do? How do you actually do that? You
It just says like drink water.
You have an app, or you just have it on your
I just
notes?
have it as like as a task reminder.
Okay.
And it just pops up, and it's great because then every time I'm looking at my phone for whatever reason, the first thing I see is the drink water thing.
I see.
And it almost becomes subliminal because now it's like I'm always like, oh, gotta drink some water. So it's been working.
Good.
I'm gonna take a sip of water right now.
And he's drinking water as we speak. I remember.
I know something that's going
Sure.
to be obsolete. Apparently, they don't teach cursive writing
know.
anymore. How weird is that?
That is weird. It'll be one of those things where some of the population's able to read stuff, and other segments of the population won't be able to read that same sort of thing. How is your cursive writing?
My cursive writing is pretty good, actually. It's sort of my go-to form if I'm...
Oh, really? So you go to if you were going to write me a note, your go-to would be cursive.
Yeah, like, I mean, a kind of like a mixture between cursive and not block writing, but plain.
Right.
Like,
non-cursive.
yeah, like it's... yeah, actually, I never thought about that. So if they don't learn cursive, how are they going to... I feel like it would be difficult. The flow of how you write would be really difficult if you didn't know cursive writing.
Well, we write so much less. We use, digital software to we type more than we write.
Okay, but what about a signature?
Yeah, that's cursive, generally speaking, right? You don't stamp out your name if you're signing something. It's a great question. It's going to be, I predict it's going to be like hieroglyphics, how, like people are going to look at it like such a foreign looking thing that they're like, oh, I can make out a T.
Oh,
And it's like,
interesting. See, I find cursive writing interesting because it's so personal,
Sure.
right? And so you learn it, but then you make it your own. Like remember how they used to do... they used to have handwriting experts.
right, that would
Compare
look at the
writing.
slant of your T
Yeah.
and the dot of your I and all
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Yeah.
I guess that's a job that will be no more in a
Right.
few years.
Or like, do you remember stenographers in courtrooms? There was always the courtroom stenographer.
Yeah. Now they just record it,
Now,
I'm sure.
now the stenographer hits record and watches to make sure that it's recording.
Is that what happens, though? Because I feel like with a courtroom, you would need to have like an actual transcript of some kind.
That's a good question. You know what? I don't know. But do you remember, I don't even remember this, but do you remember the concept of shorthand?
Yes.
And I have cousins who are older who took shorthand in school.
Interesting.
Yeah, you would learn shorthand so that if you were a secretary, you could take your boss's shorthand and then type up a letter or something. Isn't that odd? Like, it's such an odd concept.
Well, I mean, if you were doing meeting minutes or something, you would need to do shorthand in order to, like...
Just keep it the flow.
Up, yeah.
I don't even know what a shorthand... how about telegrams? Remember telegrams? Like, did you ever receive or send a telegram?
No. No. I think that's definitely something that's gone the way...
Right.
I mean... What would you ever use a telegram for anymore?
I remember people would send telegrams to weddings, so they would read out telegrams that the couple received from overseas and whatnot.
They still do that with emails and things for people who aren't there.
Right.
Less so in North America, I find.
I guess, because now it's like if you want to, you can send a card or send an email to the actual couple and say, congratulations, wish I could be there, or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Even cards are like going, like, people used to get cards in the mail. Now you don't really get that much anymore.
It's such a special thing when you receive a card. You're good at giving cards.
Or a letter. When was the last time you received a letter and not a bill in the mail? Like an actual letter written?
I think unless your grandparents are sending you a letter, or great-grandparents even. You don't, because why would you?
I remember in the 3rd grade, or grade 3, we were taught how to write a letter, like what you wrote on the front of a letter.
Yes,
and I remember it was 14 cents.
Oh, for a stamp.
I remember like that was the amount for a stamp for a letter was 14 cents.
Not anymore.
And you would have pen pals and all those.
Oh, pen pals, yeah. Definitely had pen pal.
Isn't that funny? You had a pen pal?
Yeah, if I remember correctly. But I mean, it never really amounted to anything. There's some people who had pen pals for years and years and years. Not me.
Well,
no.
There you go. You will not be Nidhi's pen pal.
You will not.
Well, you have been our pen pal. Thank you for listening to us talk about things that no longer exist.
But we do indeed exist here at the Insomnia Project. So thank you again for listening. We are produced by Drumcast Productions and recording from Toronto, Ontario. So until the next time, we will wish you a calm and relaxing state, really, and hope that you listen and sleep.